Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Roush. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRoushMedia.com, photo, video, digital media production. Today we are discussing Money Heist, Season 4, Part 4, Episode 1. The gang rushes to save Nairobi's life, but given the risk surrounding the surgery that they must perform on her, she pleads to be released to the police so that she can get proper care. Meanwhile, the professor, at first distraught at believing Lisbon to be executed, manages to escape the forest after Marcel lures the police away with a tracker they believe to be the professor escaping. After an argument between gang members develops about the decision to perform surgery on Nairobi, Tokyo stages a coup d'etat. I'm sure I said that wrong. I'm sorry about that. And leads surgery with the video aid of a surgeon in Pakistan. The professor develops a truce with Tamayo for 48 hours to assess Nairobi. In flashback, Nairobi convinces Tokyo that she asked the professor to be the leader of the heist. But the professor insists that since Palermo came up with the idea for the heist, he will be in charge. So, thank you for joining the Look It Up podcast in reviewing the first episode of Money Heist Season 4, Episode 1, or Part 4, Episode 1. Depending on where you live, it's kind of numbered a little bit differently and called different things. I'm just kind of interchanging those. Part 4, Season 4, same thing. So, we're back with our favorite characters. It's been, I can't remember exactly how long it's been. I think they said July. July was when the third Money Heist was dropped of 2019. So it's been, several months. It hasn't been quite a full year, but just under a year, maybe 6 to 8 months, give or take, when it was released in Spain. But yeah, it's good to have all of our favorite characters back. It just come to my attention that I think this is one of the longest running shows that we've been covering on the Look It Up podcast. And if you've been listening, thank you for listening and watching along with us. We have tons of other movie reviews and television reviews on the Soundcloud channel or Apple iTunes channel, YouTube channel, whatever. Check all those out. But anyways, until then, we are going to discuss Episode 1 of Season 4. So I had a couple notes that were regarding some of the spoilers on this episode, so I want you to go ahead and watch this first episode before joining into the review. The pros, as usual, I always say the cast, the acting, the music, the attire, the editing, all of it is hitting on all these cylinders. These are things that have all been pretty well planned out, shown, explained, or heard in the last few episodes, in the last few seasons. I really like the characters that they play in this. All of the main leads are really dynamic and interesting actors to watch. The cast, some of it is some a little bit more dangerous, like the Palermo character, and then we have some a little bit more fun, like the Tokyo character, and the professor character. So there's a lot of diversity when it comes to the different types of personalities that everyone's coming to. But having them all on this Money Heist does bring me back joy. So at the end of Season 3, I do believe that we find out tons of information with regards to Nairobi wanting to see her son, I believe, and they end up shooting her at the front of the Mint, and from there we have Lisbon and the professor are split up. This is at the end of Season 3, and they made it look like Lisbon has been killed, and the professor is just in shock. I honestly wouldn't have mind. I don't know. It's a mixed bag to say that we already knew Lisbon had lived. So like, I'm not sure if it would have been better if she would have came back in this episode for the first time, or if we would have never seen her die in the last season. So, at the last season, it would have looked like that Lisbon actually did die. Um, I'm not sure if that's playing too fast and loose with the cards and where we are as the perspective with um, staying with the professor, because a lot of it is in the professor's point of view, but we also get like an ominous point of view. You know, we get to see what's going on in the Mint, what's going on with the professor, what's going on with Lisbon, what's going on with all these different scenarios, and inside the police officers' decor right outside of the Mint. And so, yes, all of these things are pretty wonderful to explore. Got our favorite characters back. There was a lot of drama at the end of season 3, just all through the season 3, if I remember correctly. I remember it was all about not Denver, but what is the what is it? Rio. Rio. The whole thing in season 3 is getting Rio back to the group because he's stuck with the police, and once he actually gets back, him and Tokyo end up breaking up, and I was like, damn it. I was like, I'm pretty sure Denver does say it best. You know, he's like, we've been doing all of this work just for you to come back and break Tokyo's heart. Just sounds like, you know, kind of bullshit. So, yeah, there is some contrived drama in some places, because there has to be. There's a lot of episodes for these seasons in a way. Let's see what else we got. Alrighty, so the cons for this, still somewhat a little bit predictable in areas. I could definitely tell that there was parts of the show I was like, oh, something's definitely going to happen. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, this is going to happen. So I was like, okay, so they're starting to write along a certain path, I think, making things slightly contrived and slightly unbelievable situations. But what's going on at the Royal Mint is they're still melting the gold at the bottom of the facility. That's the main way they're going to escape with it. They're going to melt the gold. I don't believe they said what they're going to do with the gold after, but that's the way they're going to transport it, I believe. Palermo acting like an asshole and crazy. I forgot that Palermo and Helsinki had like a small relationship at in the middle of season 3, and I completely forgot that they were both homosexual. I was like, wait, what's going on? Who? And why is he calling him an asshole? Like the recap on Money Heist gives you a recap on the plot synopsis, but it doesn't really give you a recap on what happens through the emotional factors between the characters. So I completely forgot that Palermo and Helsinki had a relationship. And there is this power struggle over Nairobi wanting to be given up. They think that if Nairobi is given to the cops, then Nairobi is going to be tortured, and she's going to give them all the information that they need. It's kind of a sticky situation, it's a sticky situation, exceptionally because they have her son, I believe. So Marcel, the guy that I'm going to refer to as like knockoff Jamie Lannister. Um, I was like, what? What is this guy doing? You know, the professor told him it was all part of the plan to, you know, put a tracker in the back of a car and, you know, wreck it. I was a little bit surprised about that. I was like, the fact that you would believe that this guy would walk out of that kind of a car wreck basically unscathed is just kind of is one of those situations I would say is contrived. We have Arturo back. I hate Arturo. I don't know what's gone with this character. I didn't mind him in the first season, but my lord, the last couple seasons, this guy, I just want him to jump off the top of the Mint. Like, it is. The character is despicable. He's kind of rapey. He's terrible to Monica. He's still pissed about Denver raising his kid, which is, you know, I can understand that to an extent. But Arturo is no saint. Like, this guy is a pretty horrible guy. And having Denver whoop his ass when all of that's going on, while they're giving blood, um, yeah, that was probably going to happen. I don't know why you would ever do that. I don't even know why you would even listen to Arturo. That guy needs to be taken away from the group just because he has too much gusto. Like, he wants to be involved in this heist so bad. But yeah, I hate the guy. Um, Good to have Raquel, and I do not remember. See, it's been so long, I don't remember everyone's name. Um, Raquel and her former Angel. Angel. Raquel and Angel. I forgot that Angel had this. He had a big crush on Raquel for the longest time on the first 2 seasons, I believe, and then he realizes that, um, the professor has quote unquote won Raquel, and they're better for each other. But I do think the rapport between Raquel and Angel is good. They have the old friends vibe. Let's see. Yeah, and the dubbing for the Jamie Lannister looking guy is just not great in my opinion. Did they change the voices on the dubbing? I felt like season 3 had different voices from seasons 2 and 1 and 4. So did they go back to the original voices? Like, I remember listening to season 3, and the professor is like, "Oh, we have to go to the vent, and then we have to go this, and we have to go that," and then it's like, yeah, the professor in season 3 was a little bit, putting a little bit more extra twang into it, or some, I don't know exactly the word, but he was putting a little bit more, kind of talking like that. So they do have a really cool flashback with when they're trying to escape the bull. Jamie Lannister guy and the professor, they're kind of doing a back walk, trying to escape the bull, and they're like, "Remember the first time we met?" And they do a flashback all to Berlin's wedding, and they desperately want Berlin to come back. I mean, I, as a watcher of the show, I really liked Berlin the first 2 seasons, and they found creative ways to bring him back. Less so in the third season. I didn't think that he worked as well, but they desperately want this guy back. He is a really good actor, and so he's got this charisma that kind of just drips off the screen that makes you want to kind of dislike him, but he's also kind of want to be around him at the same time. I don't know. Got this weird energy. We also get a reminder that his brother was sick, so regardless of what happened in the first bank heist, he was, bound to die eventually, from the illness. So all but one lady scream while Arturo is beat by Denver. What does this one lady want? She's like, "I want more blood." And then Monica leaves in a very contrived situation. I think that it happened way too fast. It wasn't immediately obvious that they had a rocky relationship. Now, unless you just came from season 3 and they're having a real rocky relationship at the end of that, I could understand. But I felt like she's just like, "You know what? I can't do this anymore. You know what? We're in the middle of a bank heist. I can't do this anymore. You're beating up guys and shooting guys. I just can't do this anymore." It's like, what the fuck did you think you were doing? You're part of a bank heist. Like, you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. And so she's like, "I just don't know you anymore." And so I've got to. It's not anything I have against Monica. I think the writing for the character just happened too quickly. There's just they want them to have some sort of uh, quibble or something that Denver's going to have to get her back, which goes along with the contrived situation. Like, I didn't feel like that was natural. But that's just me, of course. If y'all had a completely different take, then y'all let me know. They're like, "Oh no, Denver was a horrible guy. You should have seen him all season 3." Yeah, well, it's been like 7 months since I've seen that, so cut me a little slack when it comes to some of these emotional ties and how everyone's feeling with everyone. Like, the only person I was 100% everyone was pretty much against was Palermo at one point. But yeah. And on the way back, the professor had Marcel in the car, and they're just discussing sad stories, I guess, losing wives, losing dogs. That sad ass dog story about the boys like throwing rocks at a dog till it died or something. I was like, Jesus, this guy's got a kind of a fucked up past. When it comes to that, I mean, I hope he whooped those kids' butts or those boys' butts. However, what happened, I don't know. Just I was like, jeez, like. What were you doing while your dog was getting, rocks thrown at? I don't know. It's like, my lord. Let's see. The professor stops the car to scream on the side of the road. The scream on the side of the road is very cathartic. Last year I had a few losses in my personal family, and I also lost my dog as well, ironically. And there were several times I just wanted to pull the car over just like that and just wail out like that, because there's just something so emotionally releasing about that, so primal, that it just feels like you're physically getting something off of your chest. And so I've been in heavy stressful situations when it came to that, emotionally. Not quite in like a PTSD manner or anything like that. My wife was not shot by the Spanish police, nothing like that. But I've been in high emotional situations where I just wanted stop the car. I just need a minute. But yeah, I can definitely see how that could be relieving. And once again, the professor, Alvaro Morte, as the professor, is just killing it. And so cops block all the signals. I think they block all of the radio signals, iPad signals, iPhone, whatever signals. Like in Egypt 2011, did that happen in Egypt 2011? Can I get a confirmation on that? Does anyone know? If you do, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought about episode 1, season 1. Sorry, episode 1. Episode 1, season 4, part 4 of Money Heist. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought about the review, how I can improve, how we can, improve and enhance the experience. Once again, all these people on this cast, amazing. Let me see what else we got. I think that's just about it for this episode. Thank you all for listening, watching the LuckyDog Podcast. PayPal.me/the LuckyDog Podcast for all support and donations. Only donate and support if it is financially viable for you. And let me know what you think about the Money Heist review. Check out all the social medias down below. We got the Facebook, we got the iTunes, we got the Discord, we got the Twitch, we got the PayPal, we got all the social medias available in the description. For additional Money Heist reviews, check the description out below. And for all podcasts early, go to YouTube, LuckyDog Podcast. You can also get this in just audio form on Soundcloud, and that Soundcloud is dispersed on Apple iTunes as well. For additional Money Heist reviews, be sure to check out the link below. I'll have either the episodes, episode by episode, or I'll do them bunched up and, episodes 2 and 3 review, episodes 4 and 5 review, episodes, something like that. I'll probably, because of the streaming nature of it, it makes it a little bit easier to just watch 1 or 2 episodes at a time. So that's probably how we're going to do it. So look for, bundled reviews and, enjoy. Thank you and take it easy.